Okay, so in the previous session, we have seen how to use ADO.NET um, for ADO.NET for um, calling the countries. Okay, um, country to pull the country data. So today we are going to see how to use a stored procedure and call it from the API. So this is my SQL Server. All the stored procedures will be here in the programmability stored procedure. So there are no stored procedures. Right click and add a new stored procedure. So here, this is the syntax for creating a stored procedure. Create procedure. You can give the procedure name. Okay, so my procedure name is master data. So this is procedure name, and here you can define the parameters. So at the rate, so all your SQL stored procedure parameters will prefix with @keyword. So ID, int, the data type, okay, and this will be the body of your stored procedure. This will be the body of your stored procedure. So I'm going to select star from TBL state where CID equal to @ID. So this is a simple stored procedure which is taking one parameter, okay, and it is executing a query. So basically, how I will retrieve the data for states, you can retrieve all the states, or you can retrieve state specific to the country. So this is how you create a stored procedure. Just click on execute and refresh. So you are going to see a new stored procedure. So how to execute this stored procedure? Copy the procedure name, okay, put it in a different window, exec procedure name. So when you click on it, so it throw an error because this stored procedure is taking a parameter called ID. So you have to pass. So if you say 1, I'm passing country ID. So what is the error? Could not find. Oh, um, I should be in the temp data. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. So when I pass country ID 1, the associated records are pulling. So if I say 3, it will pull for, and if I pass an ID which is not exist, which doesn't exist, it will retrieve empty record. So how to call this from the uh, API and our service? So I'm going to create a new method here, public IEnumerable state. So I'm going to create a model. So model, right click, add new item, state.cs. So this will have public int id, public string name, description, public int Do I need to hold this? No need. Okay, so here public IEnumerable state get states. Get states. So I'm going to implement this. Okay. So here, now what I'm going to do, I'll copy all these, but this time instead of writing query, I'm going to use, so the command text would be master data, my stored procedure name. So when I gave stored procedure name, the SQL command will have a command type. So by default, the command type will be text. If I use other than text, when the command type is text, it's a SQL query. So this is called inline query. Okay. So you use stored procedure. Okay. So here I'm going to either you can use a SQL data adapter or you can use the data reader. Okay. So I'm going to use the SQL data adapter, not the data reader. No need to open the connection and close the connection. Okay. Mhm. I'll come to that. I'll come to that. We will do that. This connection string we will define in the program.cs. I'll show how to use the app settings.json. So here we have app setting.json. So in the app setting.json, we are going to use the connection string and we are going to pull it from there. So this one we are going to replace it. Okay, so new state. So okay, so here this is one of the learning. Okay, so rename it state. Okay, so when you are working in working in your real-time applications, so sometimes you will copy code from one place to another place. So there is no wrong in copy and pasting. So, but you need to rename in that case. So here, this is not relevant. I copied it from the country and this is not relevant. And if you see, it's a state. So I have this country reference in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. So how to change it? How to change it? How can we change this? So simply we can rename like this, right? But there is an effective way of renaming this. So yeah, since we know only these places we are renaming, but in some cases the reference will be in some other pages also. So the same country reference, you might use it in some other places also. So what is the best way to rename? So Visual Studio has a feature called rename. So if you select right click on the variable or the object or the item which you want to rename. Just right click and say rename. Okay, so here you are going to rename it state, and once you enter stay and once you press enter, see this get renamed in all the places. So this is effective way. Even this will be the renaming will be applicable to the pages across your application. So whatever reference. So basically what it has done, I renamed the variable where I declared it. So it went into all the references and renamed it. Okay. Okay. So this one, it takes a parameter. So it takes a ID parameter, right? So int ID. So here, this is int ID. So int ID. So SQL command dot parameters dot add new SQL parameter. Okay, parameter its name. This has a parameter name and its value. So what is the parameter name? At the rate ID. And what is the value? The ID which I am passing. That's it. So now this has everything. This has everything. It has connection. It has command. It has the ID for the store procedure, and then it executes and returns the data. So let's see how it's going to do that. Okay. So yeah, run this. Just give me a sec. Okay. So where is our, yeah. Okay, we didn't write the endpoint. We didn't write the endpoint. So in the master controller, HTTP get, okay, name equal to get states. So public IEnumerable state get states. So where states equal to master service dot get states, and this is going to take an integer ID. So pass the ID here. So return states. Mhm. So it exists. It exists where? Who someone will write the code. Mhm. So it doesn't matter. End of the day, you have to achieve your outcome, right? Whether you're copy and pasting the code or whether you're writing. So it doesn't matter. End of the day, whether you're writing the quality, not only output, whether you're writing a quality code or not. That makes. So here it's taking a parameter. So when it is taking a parameter, HTTP get and ID. Um, so what is the, it's within the single quotes, within the double quotes, ID. Yeah. So try it out, give ID to, it's going to execute and return the data. So we didn't get any data. Let's see what happened. Yeah, ID to get passed, SQL connection, master data, check whether you're getting the ID. Yes, it's getting the ID. SQL command. Okay, why you didn't get any data? You didn't get any data here. Let's see why you didn't get. Tell me why you didn't get any data here. I can tell. So I declared a new data table, but I never executed SQL data adapter dot fill. So SQL data adapter dot fill dt. Okay. Can you see the ID2 is for I think US, and we got two states for US, Texas and MS. Okay. So any questions how to pass here? Name and ID, how can we give this? So this is HTTP name. What is that? Get states name order is it order? Yeah, forgot about it. Okay, so as Arjuna was asking, if you see in this service, I hard coded this connection string, so which is very bad practice, because in real time you will change connection strings between your applications. So if you are in development, the connection string will be different. If you are in production, the connection string will be different. For QA will be different, and UAT will be different. And hard coding this will cause problems when you deploy this code into servers. Not only deploying, and sometimes you might migrate from one server to another server, and in that case also the connection string will be updated. So these kind of connection strings or file paths, you should not hard code it. So um, you have to configure them in the configuration file. So in the ASP.NET Web Forms era, we have web.config, where you used to uh, define the connection string and use it in your applications. So now in .NET Core we have app setting.json. If you see this app setting.json, so you will have the environment specific app setting.json. So you will have development JSON, testing JSON, production JSON. Uh, you can specify what type of JSON you are using it. Okay, or simply you can um, use the app setting.json here. Okay, so how to define my connection string here? So you can, it's a simple JSON. So you can say connection strings. Okay, so there is already connection strings. So you can specify um, my or test database. This is a key. Okay, so you can completely copy and paste it in here, the one which you used. So I'll remove this one. I'm configuring it. Remove the additional stuff. Okay, so you can define multiple databases. Sometimes your application might have multiple databases. You can define them. Okay, so yeah, this is how you define your connection string. Something is wrong. So, with a different key, with a different key, with a different key. Yeah, this is key. This is key, and yeah, that is key, and that is value. So how can you specify that? So here where I am providing the connection string. Okay, so there are multiple ways you can do that. Um, so string connection str equal to builder dot builder dot its connection strings or configuration. Yeah, it's configuration dot configuration dot get connection string, and you can pass the uh, key, whatever key you mentioned there, test database, and put it here. So this configuration, we are not referring any app settings. So you are getting the connection string here. So builder dot services. Okay, so here there are multiple ways you can pass it. So here you can have you already have this. So string read only connection, read only string connection string. Okay, so this string underscore connection string. Okay, connection string equal to connection string. You just put it here. You can pass connection string like this also, you can do that. Okay, in the program.cs, now you have to pass this connection string. So let's see. Okay, so id2 I'm passing. So see the connection string. Yes, it's pulling it from the configuration file, and you're getting the data. Is it right? So there is another way you can do that. There are multiple ways how can you achieve this. So let's see, uncomment this. So uncomment this. I don't want to use connection string here. Comment this. So what I'll do, comment this as well. So SQL connection, SQL connection. So command, do I need to make it? I don't think I don't need to make this connect command. Use this one. So SQL connection. Yeah. So now my program.cs, remove this. So I am going to build SQL connection, or name it where SQL connection is going to new SQL connection. Okay, constr, so connection. So let's see whether this is working or not. Okay, so now this is not a valid case. So all these are .NET Core stuff and dependency injection. Okay, so see whether you got connection. Oh, I didn't get the connection. Yeah, put a breakpoint here. So here, get required provider dot get required service of SQL connection service of new SQL connection with the connection string. Master service I need to see how to pass this SQL connection. Get required service of oh, okay. Get required service provider dot. There should be a different get required service of SQL connection. Okay, yeah. I think this is more appropriate way, but still we are getting does not contain a constructor that take two arguments. Okay, get required service of pass this one service of new no SQL connection. Let's see. So put a breakpoint here. I'll explain it once it's working. Okay. No service of type Microsoft registered. Okay. Okay. Just builder dot services dot add scoped or singleton provider dot connection SQL connection. Okay. So this is going to give the SQL connection. So let's see. No, not the two connections. Not two connections. Basically, I'm trying to inject SQL connection. What happened? It's taking no parameters. It's not even hitting here. Why? So that means when something is not hitting here, some issue might occur here. So add a breakpoint here. So this is services. I'm adding a connection string. Did I put a breakpoint here? Yeah, I put a breakpoint and it's not hitting. Okay, so I need to inject, I'm trying to inject a SQL connection object directly instead of creating here. So add singleton. So this will give you the connection string, um, get required service of new SQL connection. No, only one SQL connection. So here I'm trying to inject a SQL connection um, with. So here I'm injecting SQL connection object for the uh, yes. So before that, uh, I should inject the SQL connection itself. So here what I'm trying to do, I'm creating a connection. So instead of creating in the service, I'm creating a SQL connection um, at application level, and I'm trying to inject it. So yeah, let me. Okay, so now if you see, so you got the SQL connection. Did you see? Yeah, this is the way with connection string. Okay, and this one, yeah, this is the problem again. So right click, rename. Yeah, I was doing it right, but it was a uh, mistake of the parameter. Okay, okay. So let me clear everything. I'm not in .NET Core. You are not going to create a connection string or SQL connection like this. Okay, remove this stuff. I'll remove everything. So you're not going to do this. This one is fine. You're not going to do this. So this is closing here. Remove one. Okay. So what you are doing is you are creating, so this is the connection string, right? And this is the SQL connection object I am creating, and I am injecting to my service. So there are no SQL connections used in within your class objects. So, and once I inject the connection here, I'm going to assign it to the local variable, and from there I'm going to use it. So there are no um, creating SQL connections in the um, services or in the program. So in interview, they'll ask what is dependency injection. So whatever we have done, that is dependency injection. Okay, so now you can see it got the connection string. Okay, and it's going to assign. Okay, so get countries. It should pull the data. You can check. Yes, still connection is there. It's going to pull the data in a connection oriented, and it's going to return the data. And when you are doing for state ID, state, it's working. So I'm going to explain one more time. Earlier, the reason I'm doing it step by step, because you should understand how the things works before and how the things works now. So earlier in ASP.NET legacy or in ASP.NET time, you created SQL connection in your class and you used it in your throat methods, or you created wherever you required and used in that. In .NET Core, your service is going to take a SQL connection parameter. If you want, you can take SQL command also. If you want, you can take a number of parameters. So here connection is important. That's why I'm using it. So your service is taking a parameter of SQL connection, and so when your service is taking a SQL connection parameter in program.cs, I'm using a connection string from the configuration. Then I'm creating a SQL connection object. Okay, and then I'm using it as a dependency injection. I'm using it as a dependency injection. Yeah, if you are using .NET Core, if you are using .NET Core, no more objects created in the services. You have to inject here because you will have better control over your object lifecycle and other stuff. Yes, yes. And we are going to, yes, yes. There are multiple architectures available, so there is no right or wrong. But again, it depends on your project requirements and all. So in next session, we are going to see how um, in next session we are going to see how we are using a different architectures, and move them to uh, move these layers to those architectures. Yeah, yeah. I'll show that. I'll show that. Okay. Um, okay, then tomorrow we'll see more. But practice everything. I'm going in a incremental manner. So please practice everything and let me know if you see any issues. Okay, and please ask questions. I'm seeing only 1 or 2 people are talking, so please keep talking. So when you talk, then only I can understand. So I can understand your issues, and that will open um, platform for more discussion. So um, this is not a like one-way session. So you please put your questions. Don't think whether it is a right question or wrong question. Ask it. If it is a right or wrong, we can discuss it and we can see the uh, other information on it. Okay, yeah. Thank you, and we will see tomorrow.